Hey guys, this week's video is all about how to find you a great rental property in Bryan and College Station, Texas. So I've brought you here to Twin City Properties, where we're gonna go talk to a local property manager, a dear friend of mine. She's gonna give us all the insider tips we need to find a great rental property. And if you stay to the end of the video, I'll have a bonus tip for you. Welcome back to Living in Bryan and College Station, the channel where we go over everything from restaurants to real estate, from midtown to downtown in our small town of Bryan and College Station, Texas. All right, so we are here at Twin City Properties with Miss Maria Perez, who is a
director of property management actually now.
Okay, because I knew you as a property manager.
Correct.
But that was a few years ago, and you've been doing this for how long?
About 10 years. May be 10 years.
10 years managing properties.
Yes.
And you have how many properties that you manage?
185.
185,
Yes.
More than I ever managed.
Yes.
Yeah, you're pretty good at it.
Yeah.
I'd say the best.
Yeah.
I said that. You don't have to.
Okay,
I'll brag on you. I'll brag on you.
Okay.
So needless to say, if someone's going to try to find a rental in Bryan and College Station, you probably know a lot about that process and how to help folks find a great rental.
Right, yes.
So most people looking for rentals, like the folks hopefully looking at this video, watch this video, will probably be looking to move in the summer. When should they start their process? If their goal is to be into a unit, let's say July, which you know is a very, very popular month,
Right.
When should they start looking and why?
So they should start looking as soon as they know that they're moving. So our at Twin City Properties is 120 days that they need to let us know.
Okay. So for the potential person looking to rent one of these places, they should start looking as soon as they know. But if they want to move in July, they better be on the ball.
Most likely end of January, February is the time frame.
So now literally now, if you're trying to move in July, you better start looking. Now, what happens in May?
In May, I mean, you get what's left over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've seen that too. All the good properties.
Yes.
By the end of March, are pre-leasing. All those good properties are gone.
Right.
Yeah. So it's hard to find a place off season. Is that right?
Yeah. Hard to find a good one.
Yeah. The ideal one.
The ideal one.
So I know Twin City Properties doesn't do a lot of student housing, but for those out there that are looking for student housing, we know just from working in the industry that the student housing pre-leasing is even before that.
Yes, I know with them, I've had friends in January, like, here's your Christmas, are you moving out?
Yeah, I've heard stories of people moving in September, and by October, the company that they're moving in with, the property management company, is going, hey, do you want to renew?
Correct.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely
and it's
bonkers.
for, August, the whole another year.
Yeah.
And you're like, I just moved in 3 months ago. I don't even know where I put my furniture at.
Right. The market that we're in here in College Station and in Bryan is very, very driven by that pre-leasing system. So you're looking for a rental here, Twin City Properties or any other property management company, probably look for 4 to 5 months in advance. Start that looking process and have something picked out. This is the other thing. I've seen it. I'm sure you've seen it. Folks come in February, they like it, but they want to wait. Then what happens?
Yes, and then it's gone.
Then they have to settle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
What
gone.
do you need in order to be qualified? So of course they want the place, but you guys screen them. And most property management companies, most apartment complexes are going to screen tenants on certain requirements. What requirements are kind of common, and what does Twin City Properties do?
Yeah, the common ones, of course, is a credit check, a background, and how much, I guess, your income is. And then, of course, if you've rented before.
Right.
With that being said, with the student area, some people haven't rented before. So that is one thing, depending on the company, there is some co-center options or additional deposits depending on the companies. So,
So what are the requirements here then?
The requirements here for us is having 3 times the rental amount for the unit, 2 years of verifiable rental history, so not owing past landlords or any evictions, and then of course we do a background and credit check.
Yep.
And with the credit check, we understand a lot of people don't, do the cash basis. Right. Don't have anything to be on the ground.
Yeah.
So we end up doing how many current accounts they have, and they have to be at least 75% current. So that's how we do it. We don't look at the actual score.
So the score is not as important as it's important that you're making payments
Correct.
on your credit card, your car, or whatever it might be. So if you're maybe correcting your score, this would be a good place to apply that. Hey, like I'm making payments on everything, I'm just still trying to fix my credit. This might be a good option for them.
Right, yeah.
And then so we kind of mentioned, I heard it there a little bit. You mentioned something about security deposits. What does Twin City Properties do? Is that pretty on par with the market? What does that look like?
Yeah, so security deposits, I believe we're the same as everyone else out there. Besides our apartments, those are a little different. But yeah, the same as 1 month's rent.
Cool. And then there's also pet fees and pet rents. There's pet deposits. What does Twin City Properties do for the furry friends?
Yeah, so furry friends are actually, like I said, we're pet friendly. That our security deposit's $500.
Yeah.
And us, which I've heard is pretty rare, we're fully refundable.
Yeah. So there's no fees. There's no pet rent.
Fees,
it's just the deposit.
Just a deposit.
But we've seen it's pretty much across the board. There's pet fees. I've seen pet rents locally. So it's pretty rare that you guys are purely deposit.
Right, purely deposit and fully refundable, because I've seen that some are, half of it is not refundable.
Yeah.
But yeah, we try to give as much back to our residents, and there's also.
So I want to jump in as a renter who's going to look at a property.
Right.
Sometimes it can be overwhelming. What do I ask when I'm in the property? Obviously, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, but what other questions should a renter be asking to make sure they get a good place?
I would say your point of contact.
Okay.
Meaning point of contact, like if anything were to happen in my unit while I'm living here, who do I communicate with?
Okay. So why is that important? Why is it important to know your point of contact, and what does that really mean?
I would say that because that way anything maintenance-wise, anything that needs to be escalated, you can actually have your point of contact, your property manager.
Okay.
So that's one of the things.
How does Twin City Properties handle that vice maybe another company?
So with us, we do own about 700 properties that are apartments, duplexes, houses. Like I said, I like to know it all, but I'm not going to be able to help out all of them. So I only manage 180, 185, but other managers are there too.
Okay.
So your point of contact of like, I know I can get with Maria to get
your tenant can get in touch with you.
Correct.
Okay. Whereas maybe if you didn't have a direct contact that way, they might just be calling in the company hoping somebody gets back to them.
Right.
Okay. All right. So what else should they be asking?
So when they're walking through the unit, obviously for Twin City Properties, we like to show the actual unit they're going to be moving into.
That's important.
Yes. And most of the time that's going to be occupied.
Okay, because of the pre-lease.
Correct.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so they're looking in March for July.
Right.
So some of the things that they do ask is what is going to be done to the unit.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So what are some things that are usually done or things that you as a property manager can kind of make a call on?
Yeah, so typically I know day and age, the units that we have are built in the 80s.
Right.
They're not going to be perfect.
Yeah.
But sometimes some lighting.
Right. Sometimes
it's a little darker. You know, you have the one bulb, and now we're going to go to 4 lights. Paint, touch-up paint.
Fresh paint.
Fresh paint. Not everything's going to be fully painted. Sometimes, sometimes it's just a touch-up paint.
Okay.
Flooring. If they do have pets, typically if there is carpet, almost 90% chance that it's going to have to be
it's going to be replaced.
Yeah.
And then is it replaced with carpet or vinyl? That's a question you'd be able to answer as a property manager.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, we would be able to answer that and see if there's going to be any updates on that.
Yeah. What else? There's got to be a third thing. What's the third gem?
The hidden fees.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fees.
Which we don't have anything. We're all transparent. It's all on our website.
Right.
But for us, the only fees or applications is $75.
Okay.
Is the application fee. We do have an admin fee, but that's at the very beginning, which is $50. Other than that, we do have a deposit of $500 for pet.
Yeah.
But there's no pet rent.
Refundable.
Yeah, fully refundable. Yeah. And again, we give a checklist of what we look for.
Okay. What are some other fees you've heard of out there?
I know there's pet rent.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
There's some maintenance fees.
I've heard some random maintenance fees.
Yeah, parking,
that's
storage,
covered,
all that. Those are kind of fees that I've always heard of.
I've seen a lot of admin fees. You mentioned $50 up front, the only admin fee. I've seen admin fees get slid in there.
Right.
So yeah, it's super important you know all those fees going up front because the rent might seem cheap, but then those fees are just stacked up.
Right, yeah.
So if people are looking to rent, obviously they can find houses a lot of different ways, but how do they find a Twin City Properties house? How do they find a house that you manage?
Yeah, well, pretty easy. Technology. at twincityproperties.com.
Yeah. So, hey guys, if you're looking to rent here in Bryan and College Station, a lot of great options. I'm a big fan of Twin City Properties. Great property managers, lots of experience, a great owner with lots of experience. So, highly recommend to check you out. Maria, thank you for giving everybody the inside scoop to getting a rental property.
All right, thanks.
Cool. Hey guys, as Maria mentioned, you can find a lot of great houses at twincityproperties.com. You can also get on things like realtor.com or apartments.com and find a lot of good rentals on there as well. If you don't want to go about this process on your own, you can actually hire a realtor like myself to represent you. So the same representation that buyers get, renters can also get in this market. If you're interested in that kind of thing, go ahead and just hit me up. All my contact information is in the details below. Bonus tip. So as important as it is to find a great property with all the amenities you want at a great price, it's importanter to know who runs that property. Is it the landlord, the property management company, or the apartment complex staff? It's important to know how they treat their tenants, how they're going to treat you. Are they going to respond to maintenance requests in a timely manner? Are they going to jack up the rent on you year after year? And are they going to nickel and dime the hell out of your security deposit, leaving you with no money at the end of your leasing period? So make sure you read those reviews and save yourself some money.